y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing a Valentine's Day glam. If you would like to see how I achieved this look, just keep watching. Alright guys, so let's just hop on into it. So first I'm going to start out by using my spoolie to brush through my brows just to make sure I'm brushing my hairs in the same direction. So now I'm going in with the Nicka eyebrow pencil in the shade Black Brown and just using that underneath my brow and just following the natural shape of it. And I like to extend the front part of my brow to the bridge of my nose. It helps me get the brows as similar as possible. You don't have to do it that way. It's just how I do my brows. There are no rules to makeup, so do your brows how you like them. And I just also do the same thing on top. And yeah, I don't really have a high arch on the left brow, I think. So I just kind of create my own arch, but I also just still kind of keep it natural looking. So using that same eyebrow pencil, I'm just going to start filling in my brow. I'm going to start from the tail and work my way kind of halfway, not really too much touching the front part of my brow. Now for the front part of my brow, I like to create, I guess you can call them fake hairs. I like to do those just by using light strokes towards the front of the brow. It kind of slightly fills it in, not too much, and it's not overbearing. It still kind of look natural. Alright, so once they're pretty much filled in to my liking, I like to go back over with my spoolie and just kind of brush through the product, and then also starting like midway, just kind of pull that product towards the front. Alrighty, so moving along, I'm going in with my Morphe M224 brush and using that E.L.F. Hydrating Concealer in the shade Fair Beige, and just using that to highlight underneath my arch of my brow. Now to clean up and basically scope out the top part of my brow, I'm taking that same Morphe brush and using the same concealer but in different shade. This is the shade Fair Warm, and just basically using that to scope out the top part of my brow just to get it nice and clean. And then I'm going to just basically blend that concealer out. Now to bluff out the concealer around the brow and to get it as blended as possible, I'm going in with a Real Techniques crease brush, but I just use it to basically buff out the edges of the concealer, and then just pretty much just pat and kind of swipe the concealer across the brow, make sure that there are no harsh lines. Alright, so now to prep my eyes, I'm going in with that same Real Techniques brush, and now I'm using my Louise eyeshadow base in the shade Rumour 2, and just pretty much just putting that all over my lid. This is going to help me get a smooth base for when I do apply my eyeshadow. You want a flawless base. You don't want any creases, okay? You want it flawless and you want it smooth. You don't want any botchy eyeshadow. Now to set that eyeshadow base and to prevent any creasing, I'm going in with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Me powder in the shade Light and just patting that powder over my lid to where I applied that base, and this is going to prevent the creasing. So to start the eyeshadow process, I'm going in with the Live with Love Morphe palette, and this is the shade Be Heard. As y'all can see, it's very bright, very pigmented, so yes, it's definitely being heard. And I'm using this Morphe M573 brush and just pretty much just tapping that eyeshadow in place, and then I'm going to start blending it out in my crease and just pretty much work my way up. So now that I have blended that color out to my liking, I'm going in with this crease brush, and I'm using the shade Seek Change from that same palette to just kind of bluff out those edges so we can have a smooth, I guess you could say a smooth transition. I don't really want any harsh lines for this look, even though I am going for a bold look, but I just want the edges to be, you know, just to be blended out a little. Alright, so now I'm just going to dab on in the Box of Crayons eyeshadow palette and just using the shade Pink, which is a lighter pink than those two previous pinks that were applied, and just blend out those edges a little bit more. Alright, so to make the crease pop a little bit more, I did go back in the Live with Love Morphe palette and using the shade Stay Strong. It's a very vibrant red. You probably can't tell because of the pink that I'm applying on top of, but I just blended that into my crease just to give it a little bit more depth. So now I'm using that Real Techniques buffing brush and just pretty much applying that same Louise eyeshadow base. Pretty much applying that to the lid of my eye. I have hooded eyes, so it's really hard for me to do a cut crease for my eyes because you can't really see them. So I just prefer to do a more a no cut crease look and just kind of blend out the edges of that eyeshadow base just so everything blends neatly and no harsh lines. Alright, so now I am going back in with that crease brush, and I'm not adding any product. I'm just using what's remaining on the brush and just making sure the edges of that eyeshadow base is blended out. So to pretty much set that eyeshadow base in place, I am going in with a white eyeshadow that I have in one of my palettes. Just pretty much tapping that right on top of that eyeshadow base. So now I'm going to take this E.L.F. blending eyeshadow brush and just going back in with that vibrant red color and just pretty much putting that on the outer corner of my eye and blending that into that eyeshadow base. Alright, so next, to go ahead and finish off the eyeshadow look, this adhesive glue and this glitter I did get from Kayla ROUSER. The name of her business is KROUSERBEAUTYBAR. She does have lashes, adhesive glue, glitter. And I did go ahead and apply some of that adhesive glue to my eyelid, and then to pretty much apply the glitter on top, I'm using the Morphe M124 brush and just pretty much just tapping the glitter right on top of the adhesive glue. And if you would like to check her out, please do. Her information will be in the description box. And y'all, this glitter is really great, especially if you want to do bold looks. She can do even natural looks. She has a great variety of color, so definitely go ahead and check her out. This glitter is really popping. Yes, it's really giving what it's supposed to give. Alright y'all, so moving along to the face, I am going in with my E.L.F. Hydrating Primer, and as y'all can see, I have not restocked yet, so yeah, don't judge me. But anyways, I'm just using what's left of the product out of the bottle and just pretty much applying that to my face, especially focusing on my T-zone area and around my nose. Alright, so next I'm going in with my Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth Foundation in the shade Sun Beige, I think. It's number 210. It'll be in the description box below. And I'm using this flat brush and pretty much just patting that foundation into my skin. Alright, so now I'm using that same concealer brush to apply that E.L.F. concealer in the shade Fair Warm. Just popping that right underneath my eyes to conceal. And then I like to go over that to highlight with a lighter shade, which is going to be the Fair Beige. I'm going to be using that same concealer brush to apply that as well. And I'm also going to apply that lighter shade of concealer on my chin area, the middle of my forehead, and then also down the bridge of my nose. Now I'm going to be spraying my face with that MAC setting spray before I start blending out my concealer. So now I'm going in with the Real Techniques brush and just pretty much starting to blend out that concealer. I do start on the outer part of that concealer and just pretty much just tap it in place just to make sure it's blended nicely. And then I work my way upward. So I start on the outer part and then I work my way up. So once everything is blended out, I like to go back with a beauty blender and just pretty much make sure the creases underneath my eye, your smile lines, want to make sure all of that is gone. So I'm going to make sure I blend until my hands hurt, until I can't blend anymore. But you want to blend, okay? You want to blend like your life dependent on it underneath your eye, just to make sure you get all of those creases out. So using that same Real Techniques brush that I used to blend out the concealer, I'm going in with the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder in the shade Light and just pretty much tapping that powder over that concealer. That's why it's important to make sure you blend everything out before applying your powder, because you don't want to set those creases. You just want to make sure everything is blended out. Want to make sure it's just pretty much smooth underneath your eye. So moving on to contouring, I'm going to take my Juvia's Place Contour Stick in the shade Cameroon, and I'm just applying that to where my jawline naturally is shadowed, and then I'm going to do the perimeter of my forehead, and then also do a little nose contouring. So I'm just going to take it down the side of my nose. So to blend out the contour, I'm taking this angled contour brush, not exactly sure the name of it, but I'm just going to make sure I blend out that contour. I'm just going upward and then just using circular motions. Now to blend out the contour of my nose, I'm taking this angled eyeshadow brush and just pretty much patting that contour in place, and then making sure that I bring it up to where my eyebrows start, just to kind of give it more of a natural shadow look. Now to set that contour in place and then to bronze my face, I am using a bronzer from MAC. I'm not sure the name of it or the shade, but it will be listed down below in the description box. But I'm just placing that everywhere I did apply the contour, and just making sure that it's blended upward as well. Don't want to drag it below the jawline, but just want to make sure that it's blended upward, and just make sure it's blended into the foundation. Alright, so now I'm going back in with that Real Techniques brush and just pretty much patting that the remainder of that loose powder that I have setting on the concealer, just pretty much patting that into my skin, and then just kind of swiping it away, just to avoid any flashbacks. Alright guys, so moving on to my favorite step, which is the blush. I'm using this Real Techniques blush brush and this is blush from Rimmel London. Y'all already know, look in the description for the shade, because I don't know. But I'm just applying that right on top of that bronzer and onto the apples of my cheeks. I wonder why they say apples of the cheeks, but yeah, just applying that onto my cheek area. Alright you guys, so this is a bold eye look, so of course we had to go all out and do a wing liner. And let me just tell y'all how proud I am of myself for doing this on camera, because I struggled so bad with putting liner on, especially like liquid liner. I struggled really bad with that, let alone doing a wing liner. So I found out a trick that most of you may already know, but if you don't know, then you could definitely try this. It helps me by looking down instead of me trying to look forward with my eyes open and putting it on. It helps me to look down, and my eyes don't move as much because I have shaky eyes when I'm doing my makeup, so my eyes don't move pretty much at all if I'm looking down. So I hope this helps someone if you have shaky eyes like me. But yes, I was really proud of myself. Pat on the back. Alright, so now I'm taking that same adhesive glue and just applying it to the corner of my eye. And then I'm going to go in with this silver glitter and just using that same Morphe brush that I used earlier to apply the glitter to my lid. I'm just going to use that to apply this silver glitter to the corner of my eyes, just to give it a little bit more pop, you know. So now I'm going in with this highlight from Wet n Wild called Blossom Glow, and I'm just popping that right underneath the arch of my brow. Alright, so to pretty much finish off my face, I'm spraying it with the matte setting spray. And yes, I most definitely had my mouth open while spraying that. So yes, I did get in my mouth. But anywho, I'm taking this M510 brush to apply the highlight onto my cheekbones, and I'm also going to apply it down the bridge of my nose and just do a little on my forehead and over my lips, over my cupid's bow. Alright, you guys, we're almost done. So now I'm just gonna do a little 1-2 on my hair. Just throw it back in a low sleek ponytail, just so we can go ahead and finish off this Valentine's Day glam look. Alright, you guys, so to finish off my bold Valentine's Day look, I decided to do a bold lip as well. So I am using the MAC lip liner in the shade Cherry, and I did go over that shade with kind of a glossy pink lip gloss. I'm not sure the name of it, but y'all know where to find that information at. So I put that over the lip liner and just made sure that it was blended out for a pretty ombre look. Okay guys, so this is the final look of my Valentine's Day glam. Get into the glitter, get into the lips, get into that wing, honey, because it is sharp. So I really enjoyed this look. If you guys enjoyed it and loved it as much as I did, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video.